Hey y'all. So I wanted to stop in and talk about how I had a very, very productive, successful class period or day with my classes. And I was teaching intro infection control. And even though I was teaching them infection control, and infection control is one of those chapters, y'all already know. Sometimes the students struggle with it. They find it boring. They are not very interested in it. And sometimes they find it hard to grasp. But yet, I still had a very engaging and fun class period. And so I just wanted to share what I did and why I feel like it was so productive and good. So we were talking about a couple of different things. We were talking about, we started off talking about the modes of transmission, so direct and indirect transmission, and then the airborne / respiratory droplets. And so I had maybe 5 slides on my presentation. That was just the information, pictures and stuff, of course, but the information that I taught. But y'all, I was so engaging, and I used the room, meaning I didn't just stay at the front of the classroom and talk at them the whole time. I literally walked around my class because I have a remote, so I can use it to click my slides. But even if you don't have a remote, you can still move around. It takes more because then you're having to walk back up to the front and click, to go to the next slide. However, get your exercise in. I think that conversations when you're doing your direct teach is so much more beneficial when you are moving around and keeping the crowd interested in what you're doing. So we have to do that same thing with our students, and we have to move around, engage the kids, talk to them, have conversations with them instead of talking at them. So the whole time that I'm teaching, I'm talking to them, I'm relating to them, I'm talking like them and telling them. So when it's direct transmission, y'all, it's like me kissing my man, because they always say I'm kissing my man, or my man, so I'm telling them it's like when you're kissing your man, kissing my man, or hugging my man, or when I'm dapping up my homeboy, that is direct. That's the way that I'm teaching them. But I'm walking around the room, we're laughing, we're joking, and we're having a good time while we're talking about it. So they are learning. And then I pick up my sticks, because I love to use my sticks, my name sticks. And I'm calling them. And I'm seeing who's understanding, because I'm doing quick checks. And they're getting it. They're understanding. So we talked about the direct transmission. We talked about efficacy and just about, disinfectants being bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal. We talked about all of these things. And as we're going through, I'm just making sure that I'm walking, I'm engaging them, we're laughing, and we're having fun as I'm teaching the lesson. Because I know how to engage on their level. Give them examples that are on their level, that are relatable to them. So I think that's very important for you to do with your students. And it was a good way for me to be able to teach them. So that was the first part of the lesson. The second part of the lesson was some review information, because we had gone over federal versus state agencies the class period before. So I just gave them whiteboards and markers, and I put the questions on the screen, and then I let them hold up their whiteboards in between to answer the questions. And I told them, I was asking them questions like, what does OSHA stand for? Or what does SDS stand for? And they don't really remember. A lot of them don't remember everything, but I'm like, write down any word that you remember, any word, anything that you remember. And so that helps them to not feel so obligated to just have the answer right, even if you just know the safety out of SDS, but you don't remember the next 2 parts. Sorry, y'all, somebody was getting ready, they pulled out, and they were pulling out, but it wasn't time for them to pull out. Anyway, even if they don't remember everything, they don't feel pressured to get the answer all the way 100% right, or just not write anything. They still write something down, and they were able to, still participate. And so, of course, we went through that. I had a bunch of questions that I was asking them about the federal versus state agencies, and we were laughing and still having a good time with that because, I joke with them, and we just go through that information. And then once we did that, we were talking about, I had them do some reading because I still want to do literacy and, things like that. So they read a slide, just one slide, and that slide was about disinfect or dispose. So they read through that so they could tell me how they know when they can disinfect and when they dispose and stuff. We went through that information. I had them to summarize what they read to me. And then we played this or that. So I had them to get up and move. So they're not seated anymore because they have been seated for a while now. So I had them to get up and move. So I showed them items on the board. I had tweezers or a nail file or whatever, and I had them move this or that. Is it porous or non-porous? Is it multi-use or single-use? And I'm having them to go to either side of the room, and then we're talking about it and discussing it in between. Why is this the answer? And so that's pretty much how we closed class. And I just came on here to say, y'all, that I really did have a good time in class today teaching infection control. And I believe that my students really had a good time as well. And I believe that they learned something from me and they were able to really engage in class from a lesson that they don't normally enjoy so much, but they were still able to have a good time. And that's what teaching is all about. Teaching is about making the lesson be as enjoyable as possible so that the learners can truly understand what it is that they're being taught. And what better way to help them understand and retain the information than by making sure that they're actually enjoying what they're doing in class. Even if it's not on a topic that's very enjoyable to them, you can still relate and make it relatable and make it engaging and make it fun, even during your direct teach, even during your lecturing part. Moving around the classroom, being in their space while you're teaching helps. I'm literally, y'all, I'm making eye contact. I'm focusing in on them. I'm close, standing by the students who may get distracted for a second. I walk over there by them and touch them, and I'm continuing my lesson, but I'm making sure that they are engaged, that they're listening, and that they are ready so that they can retain the information. So that's just my little win for the day, and I hope that this helps and encourages you all during your lessons as well, especially during the lecture piece or the theory portion, when you feel like, I don't know what to do to make this, fun or to make it stick. So, yeah, y'all have a great day.